strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Welcome everyone, it's another Illuvium Overworld guide, and today we are going to help you get the most out of your mining or harvesting runs in Illuvium. We're going to help you either score high on the Illuvium Overworld leaderboard or just get the most possible resources you can out of a single run. Or for some context, we are here in the closed beta right now, and at the moment we don't know if either of those things really matter. We don't know if you're going to get any extra airdrop points or anything for being on the leaderboard. We haven't heard anything like that yet. Right now you get pretty much unlimited resources, so it doesn't really matter if you are efficient with your runs, but eventually that is going to matter. Once we go live, being efficient with your mining and harvesting runs is going to be huge to help you get the most out of the fuel that you are spending. So that's what I'm here to help you with today, so you can have some big mining or harvesting runs. So let's take a look at the Illuvium Overworld. Okay, so the first step to having a good mining or harvesting run is to have the right gear. So let's go in and take a look at what you should be equipping to maximize your runs here. So first we have our equipment. We have the basic, advanced, and supreme jetpack, mag boots, and visor. These are going to increase the speed and ease of your run. The jetpack, the mag boots can help you move around the map faster. The visor is going to help you be able to spot things further away. None of this is necessary in terms of just overall mining efficiency or harvesting efficiency. It does help you go quicker though, which if you're going for a high score can help improve, because going quickly can be big for your score, but none of this is actually necessary until I guess maybe the very end. Sometimes it can be very helpful to move quickly, but for the most part, those are just kind of bonus things. They are definitely helpful if you can get them. But what can really increase your efficiency is some of these drone parts here. So we have our, in tier 3, here's the first stage of our permeation bracket or our vegetation sequencer. These are going to increase your mining or harvesting efficiency. In this case, reducing the mining cost by 10% or harvesting cost by 10%. It is going to be best to focus on a single type of run so that you can equip all mining parts or all harvesting parts and focus on just doing one or the other. If you want to maximize efficiency, that is going to be the best route. Now, early on, before you get some of these gear, or if you happen to just have one of each and you can equip both of them, then you can do both mining and harvesting at the same time. But eventually, if you want to maximize your mining or harvesting potential, you need to focus on doing a single one. So that is the big one, and then the other one is the chance to duplicate ore. So here is 8% chance to duplicate ore, or 8% chance to duplicate essence. And you can see as you go up to the higher stages, these are the same things. They just improve efficiency. So from 10 to 20%, from 8 to 12%. Both of those are really going to maximize your output. And those are just the primary stats as well. If we get out here, so if I go into my inventory, I have a few equipped. We're very early, so I haven't gotten too far. But you can see on this drone equipment, there is the primary stat, and then there's a secondary stat that is random. So in this case, it was capture power. That's not going to help me for a mining run, but you can get some combinations that can give you an even further boost. So here you see there was a mining cost as a secondary stat there for my alluvials. Here I had increased alluvial slots, increased capture power. That's a good one because they combine together. And if you're trying to capture high level alluvials, you want to be able to carry more, help the capture power. So that's a nice one because you get the kind of the same combo for the same combo run. I don't have any good mining combination runs yet, but if you can find those can really help out. So pretty simple, that's the gear you want to focus on. Now let's go hop into a run and take a look at how to actually mine and harvest. All right, the next step is to choose where we are traveling. Where do we want to go mine and harvest? And that really depends on what your overall goal is. If you are trying to get a high score on a leaderboard, you are going to want to go to a stage 3 location. It's going to have rare resources, and you're simply going to get a higher score there. But if you're trying to find specific specific plants, specific ores. You might not want to go to a stage 3. There are some items that you can only find in stage 0. There are some items that you are more likely to find in stage 1 or stage 2. So this is going to vary for everybody depending on what their overall goal of the run is, but the next step is to choose a stage. All right, now that we're here, the first thing I do is I pull up my map and toggle on our heat map. This is going to show us where the most resources are. So you want to spend most of your time in the red areas. Now, depending on what type of run you're doing, whether you're focusing on time or not, you might still be going through a large section of the map trying to be efficient. If you are doing a time run, if you're trying to get on the leaderboard, you definitely want to spend most of your time focused in the red area. So this kind of gives you an idea of which places you should start with. Now, as you are out looking for whatever resources you are focusing on, you are also going to be looking for these Ergon Rifts. And these are these purple veils here that can be seen throughout the overworld. And these are going to be huge towards increasing your score. They're going to give you extra energy. So once you find these, I like to come in and mark them on my map just like this. You do not do anything with them at the start. You're going to use these at the very end once you are pretty much out of energy. And I'll show that more in depth here at the end. Here's another look at kind of what these look like. You'll get a keen eye for seeing them. So here you can see there's actually 3 of these rifts here on the screen. You can see them in purple. At first, if you don't really know what you're looking for, they can be very hard to spot. But as you do more runs, you'll get used to seeing them. Then you basically just go about your normal run. Whatever it is that you are mining or harvesting, you are going to spend almost all of your energy out here looking for these deposits, looking for the harvestables until you get down to the very end of your run. You do not want to go under 100 energy until you are prepared for the final run. Until we get to that point, there's not too much to go over though. Simply go out and find the resources that you want, harvest them. A couple of tips though. First off, avoid these morphopods right here. Some of them are just kind of annoying and slow you down, but there are some that, as you can see, will drain your health or will drain your energy. So be very careful around some of these. It's good to kind of shoot them all down. It is helpful to capture them. They will be useful in Illuvium 0, but for the most part in the overworld, it's really just about getting them out of your way and preventing them from damaging you. As you find some of these rifts, one kind of tip that I have is to use your teleport beacons. So I like to place these strategically around the map. You only get, at this point, you only get 3 of them. So I will put them, depending on which state we're at or which map we're on, I can put them at strategic points for advancing around the map, and knowing that I'm going to be trying to coming back to these Ergon rifts. So I like to place them in good points, and I also like to leave some harvestables or some ores around these Ergon rifts before we start our run. So once you've farmed all of your resources that you've got, you've got near 100 energy left. The next resource that you farm is going to put you under 100 energy. You want to get ready for your final run. And you can see here, we're going to show an example here where I actually was able to find 8 Ergon rifts, which is, I think, the most I've found on a map so far. You might not always find this many. It's up to you how much time you want to spend trying to find them. But the more you can find, the better, because as we pass through these, they're going to give us more and more energy. So I'm going to start on one of the Ergon rifts that is furthest towards the outside of the map, because the map is going to close in. And you see right there, once I dropped under 100 energy, the timer started, I ran through the rift and I got more energy. Each rift that you go through is actually going to give you fewer and fewer energy until you're down to only a 25 energy bonus, but they still give you more energy. So you want to be able to efficiently run through these in the final 5 minutes, go run through them all and still have time to then use that energy. And that is why I make the recommendation to have some harvestables, whether again it's the harvestables, the deposits, whatever it is that you're going after. Having some of those around the Ergon rifts so you can collect them as you are moving from rift to rift is a good idea. In this example, you might wonder why I'm why I'm going after some harvestable, some ore. I didn't have a specific thing I was choosing. Most likely, if you're trying to go on an efficient run, you will be looking for either specifically one or the other. I know I said that earlier, but I just want to reiterate that point, that if you have optimized your gear, you will optimize it for going after deposits or for going after harvestables, one or the other. That's going to be the most efficient way to do things. Here I'm just kind of shooting things randomly for the sake of showing a run and showing using the energy, but I've left a lot of these things that I can harvest in between these rifts that I'll be running to. And once we teleport again, you'll be able to see, well, once I pull up the map, you can see the outside. That red circle keeps getting, keeps closing in. So the map is getting smaller and smaller, and that's why I start on the outside and work my way in as far as collecting these rifts. But they give you each one of those you can go through gives you more energy, and that's something else. That's another ore, another harvestable you can try to collect. So I think it's pretty obvious how impactful that is to be able to get a 10-15% extra energy bonus for your run, and that can be very, very helpful. So the timer starts at 5 minutes. Again, this one took me about 3 minutes to go through all of them. It really depends on the map, how you're able to strategically place your beacons, how you are able to have your collectibles around as far as what you can farm. 5 minutes is typically plenty of time. I have tier 2 equipment on to move around the map. If you have tier 1, it'll be a little bit slower moving around, but you still have enough time that you can go through 8 rifts even with your tier 1 equipment. If you have the tier 3 equipment, you can move through things even faster. But that was where I mentioned earlier how at the end of the run it can be helpful to be able to move around the map quickly. And this is why. You can see everything's closing in. So if I was a little slower, I may have not been able to get everything through. This was overall a pretty good run. And again, it took me about 3 minutes to get through everything, and I still had some time. Now, one thing I didn't do very well, I still left 40 energy, and that's because I wasn't focusing too much on being efficient with my mining and everything like that. But you could go through that a lot quicker. But anyways, there we are. There is a run complete. If you have any questions, let me know. But mining efficiently is going to be a big thing in Illuvium, and I hope this guide is able to help you do that.